Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
We're sitting in the courtyard, veranda area, just reading Bhagavatam.
Canto 4, Chapter 25, Text 25. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Alright, text 25. Puranjana the hero became attracted by the eyebrows and smiling face of a very beautiful girl and was immediately pierced.
Could you read a little bit louder?
And was immediately pierced by the arrows of her lusty desires. When she smiled shyly, she looked very beautiful to Puranjan, who, although a hero, could not refrain from addressing her. Purport. Every living entity is a hero in two ways. When he is a victim of the illusory energy, he works as a great hero in the material world. As a great leader, politician, businessman, industrialist, etc. And his heroic activities contribute to the material advancement of civilization. One can also become a hero by being a master of the senses, a Goswami. Material activities are false heroic activities, whereas restraining the senses from material engagement is great heroism. However great a hero one may be in the material world, he can be immediately conquered by the lumps of flesh and blood known as the breasts of women. In the history of material activities, there are many examples, like the Roman hero Antony, who became captivated by the beauty of Cleopatra. Similarly, a great hero in India named Baji Rao became a victim of a woman during the time of Maharashtrian politics, and he was defeated. From his history, we understand that formerly politicians used to employ beautiful girls who were trained as Visha Kanya. These girls had poison injected into their bodies from the beginning of their lives, so that in due course of time they would become so immune to the poison and so poisonous themselves that simply by kissing a person they could kill him. These poisonous girls were engaged to see an enemy and kill him with a kiss. Thus, there are many instances in human history of heroes who have been curbed simply by women. Being part and parcel of Krishna, the living entity is certainly a great hero, but due to his own weakness, he becomes attracted to the material features. It is said in the Prema Vivata that when a living entity wants to enjoy material nature, he is immediately victimized by the material energy. A living entity is not forced to come into the material world. He makes his own choice, being attracted by beautiful women. Every living entity has the freedom to be attracted by material nature or to stand as a hero and resist that attraction. It is simply a question of the living entities being attracted or not being attracted. There is no question of his being forced to come into contact with material energy. One who can keep himself steady and resist the attraction of material nature is certainly a hero and deserves to be called a Goswami. Unless one is master of the senses, he cannot become a Goswami. The living entity can take one of two positions in this world. He may become a servant of his senses, or he may become master of them. By becoming a servant of the senses, one becomes a great material hero. And by becoming master of the senses, he becomes a Goswami or spiritual hero. Yeah, because at the moment the internet is going a bit crazy with this couple that were outed at the Coldplay concert. And there's so many jokes about it online, and everyone's doing like spoofs on it and all this sort of stuff. So it's really interesting, and this guy apparently earns $500,000 a year. He's a CEO. He started the company, but now his board of directors have booted him out, basically. And it's just interesting, for what? And then likewise the lady involved, she has family and kids and stuff. So it's this attraction of the opposite sex, and how it can weaken one, as it were, and destroy you, and you go from hero to zero.
Hero to zero.
Yeah, this Prabhupada is talking about hero. Spiritual hero if you control the senses, and then a material hero if you are defeated by them, but you obviously, from the deal point of view, you rise up through the ranks. So Prabhupada is saying that you're a hero either way, but really you become the zero.
Become the zero. I was walking down the street earlier today, and these two workmen, I saw one workman, he went and got some tool, and he was really happy with himself that he had got it. He said, I'm a something in my own mind. And then a legend. He said, I'm a legend in my own mind. And the other guy said, yeah, and a hero in your own time. Something like that. So we have this pride of wanting to be a hero. Did I interrupt you again?
No.
Okay.
Listening.
Why are you grinning?
I'm just listening.
Anyway, it's a very powerful purport, and interesting. Prabhupada gives quite a few, it's either this or this. You're either a material hero or you're a spiritual hero. You're either a Goswami or kind of a Godas. And I thought there was a third one. Yeah, servant of the senses or a master of the senses. So you have the choice. You can be one of two things, So like that. Anyway, very, very powerful purport. Text 26. Okay. My dear lotus-eyed, kindly explain to me where you are coming from, who you are, and whose daughter you are. You appear very chaste. What is the purpose of your coming here? What are you trying to do? Please explain all these things to me. Purport. The first aphorism in the Vedanta Sutra is the Tato Brahma Jigyasa. In the human form of life, one should put many questions to himself and to his intelligence. In the various forms of life, lower than human life, the intelligence does not go beyond the range of life's primary necessities, namely eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Dogs, cats, and tigers are always busy trying to find something to eat or a place to sleep, or trying to defend and have sexual intercourse successfully. In the human form of life, however, one should be intelligent enough to ask why he is, why he has come in, what he is, enough to ask what he is, why he has come into the world, what his duty is, who is the supreme controller, what is the difference between dull matter and a living entity, etc., etc., etc. There are so many questions, and the person who is actually intelligent should simply inquire about the supreme source of everything, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. A living entity is always connected with a certain amount of intelligence, but in the human form of life, the living entity must inquire about his spiritual identity. This is real human intelligence. It is said that one who is simply conscious of the body is no better than an animal, even though he be in the human form. In the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Krishna says, Sarvasya cha ham ridisani vishto mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. In the animal form, the living entity is completely forgetful of his relationship with God. This is called apohana, or forgetfulness. In the human form of life, however, consciousness is more greatly developed, and consequently the human being has a chance to understand his relationship with God. In the human form, one should utilize his intelligence by asking all these questions, just as Puranjan, the living entity, is asking the unknown girl where she has come from, what her business is, why she is present, etc. These are inquiries about Atma Tattva, self-realization. The conclusion is that unless a living entity is inquisitive about self-realization, he is nothing but an animal. So there you go, another kind of black and white sort of statement that basically, if you're not inquisitive about self-realization, and you just accept the status quo and go on living life, accepting whatever it is as it is, then you're basically an animal life. So anyway, this is a very, very nice verse and purport for Tato Brahma Jigyasa, that one should inquire into the truth, that the first step for all of us is to begin to ask questions like this. Who am I? What am I doing here? What is my purpose in life? What am I meant to be doing with my life? And how am I going to do that? How am I going to align? At the moment, just listening again to an audio book of called Purpose Driven Life, which I think I've mentioned before. Rick Warren is a minister, and he's written this book according to Christian theology. But as you listen to it, it's just pure bhakti again and again and again. And anyway, he mentions that our real purpose in life is to basically serve God. That's what we were made for. We were made for the service of God, and that therefore is what we should try to figure out how to do. And once we figure out how to do that, how to serve God, then we'll immediately feel, happy. Just like Prabhupada gives the example of the hand that becomes disconnected from the body. It still exists as a hand, but only when you put it in connection with the entire body does it have function and purpose and feel its place. Like that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Should we read one more, or are you going to stop there?
Please stop.
Okay, we're going to stop here. Thank you all very much for tuning in. We're trying to keep it short and sweet, especially because we're outside sometimes and it's a little too hot. I was just going back through some of our previous recordings, and I was thinking, wow, this is quite exciting. We often are reading in such a variety of places, so it's quite interesting to go back. And I was looking at some from about 3 years ago. Okay, yeah, 2 years ago, 2023 it was. All right, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Please subscribe,
Comment.
like,
Share.
Yay! Haribol.
Hare Krishna.